It's worse than we thought.
SODO!
What's going on, SODO population? As always, I'm your host of Frozen Stratos, and today I don't have great news for all of us who love SODO. So this week, if you don't already know about it, we had a brand new blog come out for SODO Geats, and last week we were all... Well, I was excited for SODO Geats to come back and really, get back into the groove of things. Show things off every week. Do this, and that. But we don't have some great updates. I've certainly calmed down from my opinions of the weekend, but without further ado, let's just sort of get into it so we have a basis to talk about with this. So, SODO is going to be releasing Geats Boost Mark II, Kamen Rider Jin, and Geats, the combined one. I forgot the name of it, but this set is in totality called the Hyperlink set. It's 3 figures, and it's on Premium Bandai, man. I don't quite know how this happened. I have some theories, but right now they're only theories. So for now, let's talk about the figures we did get. And weirdly, we didn't get too much information about the figures themselves either, which is strange because SODO is typically incredibly transparent about everything and all the processes going on within it. So let's take a look at this next image. This one shows off Jin and Geats Boost Mark II. And these look pretty good. Like, they look good for a retail set. But, this is premium. And if you notice, there's a lot of sticker detailing going on around here. There's a bunch of coattail detailing on Mark II. I'm guessing a lot of that chest situation, that's going to be sticker detail on Jin. And then, pair it with your normal retail release figures. Because, those are all readily available. And these will not be, because it's premium. Not quite sure what this says, but if you would like, you can translate it here. But yeah, then we move on to Kamen Rider Geats Laser Boost form. Again, there are quite a few sticker details here, but they are in what I would consider acceptable areas, mostly because the gradients on this thing would not get done otherwise. Like, you can't feasibly paint that, given certain constraints. But then again, this is premium, so I don't know. A key thing about this guy, though, is that he has a separate, little accessory. I won't call it a set, but he has separate accessories. You can make it look like he's taken the gun off the belt, and you can use it as a weapon itself. And also, he has a very different and unique shoulder construction to any other SODO figure we've seen before. Basically, it's like sort of 2-tiered shoulder pads. You can hook on the first set, and then the second set goes on top of it. And this just allows for better range of motion, and overall, they said looks more accurate. Now, all 3 of these figures, they're going to be 7,500 yen. In Japan, but I've seen it on Tokulectables for like 100. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. They also, in the same breath, decided to promote that, hey, this premium Bandai set of some missing Kamen Rider Revice figures is still up for pre-order as well. And that leads to the discussion that a few people have echoed to me that, like, hey, this set and the accessories plus this set would have made a very good retail release. And it's incredibly strange that these aren't retail, that none of these made it to retail. Take, for instance, this set, right? the base bodies of two of these figures are pretty much the same, right? We can agree on that. Live and evil forms, those two are more or less similar base bodies, and that's some way that they could eke back a little bit of, cost on these. Same with the spider guy over here. He's pretty much a reuse from before. Really, the only thing that we have that's like super new are the weapons. But are they? Because a lot of these are reused as well. You have, Jackal's Scythe. You have the sort of ring weapons from, Kiwi, the Kiwi arms. And just, a plethora of reused items. It's strange. Once again, would work in a retail set. And then, like I said, this set, Geats Boost and Mark II and Geats Laser Boost, the base bodies of those are incredibly similar. They don't transform. It doesn't transform into the dog, unlike the DX figure. So this seems like a move that a retail set would make. And I've definitely seen that argument, and I'm inclined to agree that initially, perhaps this set and the one previous, those were supposed to be retail sets. Now, I am moving on into, speculation at this point, so don't take anything that I say as actual news. This is just my take on the situation. So clearly, we can establish that this set and the previous set, this was all supposed to be one single release, right? As a retail set. But I'm wondering, because 2-ish months ago, maybe even edging on 3 months ago at this point, is when they announced, hey, we can't do the blog weekly for a little while, and on top of that, the SODO release schedule, we are moving that out 2 months, and then radio silence for a very long time. Something clearly went wrong, and I'm willing to bet, and they've cited these issues time and time again. The rise of material cost, the weakening of the yen, and you have to compare it to the Chinese yuan, I believe, because they manufacture these figures in China. So it becomes increasingly expensive to manufacture these figures. I'm wondering if they were knee-deep in creating, ID5, or whatever the next set was supposed to be. I'm wondering if they were knee-deep in creating that set and then realized, wait, hold on, we no longer have the budget to manufacture these because the Chinese yuan is so much stronger than the yen. Now we need to pull back, readjust, take stock of what we can do with our budget. We kind of already have these figures, so we can't feasibly make these retail sets. So all we can do now is either push it to Premium Bandai, not make them, or make them at an extremely truncated, rate, or just not as good of a version later on. So I think they just went the route of Premium Bandai, and that's just sort of where these figures got stuck. They're in an awkward, middle space between figuring out their brand new budget, and then also, having to release these figures. Or maybe they just wanted to wait to see if the yen bounced back. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. And, there are other theories. I've seen people talking about Burnout. Burnout's absolutely a thing. SODO's been going on for years and years and years. 6 years. But SODO's been going on strong for quite a while and just not stopping at all. Really, the only breaks we see are for, a few holidays or so. So it is an interesting aspect. I mean, I experience Burnout. You don't see consistent content on this channel. So I understand, but I don't know, because, it's still a company. They still need to make money, make product. if one individual person is burnt out, that sucks. But I don't think it takes one person to create this. It takes multiple people, and maybe the whole team's burned out. I don't know, but I don't know that that's feasibly the thing. I'm sure they are. I can confidently say that it's probably a lot of work to make this happen month in, month out, and there have been delays before. Another interesting aspect I wanted to throw in here was that if you guys remember, we had a fan vote a few months ago where they said, hey, this is our homework vote. Basically, we are missing a lot of figures, but we want you to vote on what's next. And they were hyping up ID5 as the next big thing. It's going to be so amazing. You won't see it coming. It's going to be super cool. And then just radio silence after that. We didn't see anything for the homework figures. So I'm wondering if even those got delayed. Maybe there was an issue on that side, and that had to be delayed, thus displacing these figures. I don't know. There are a lot of theories going around, but my current read is that, hey, these were budgeted for the previous price, and they weren't able to feasibly make that. So what they may have to do is throw these out on Premium Bandai, the work they already did, and then figure out what SODO looks like going down the line, right? Figure out like what they're gonna do with the budget they have now. If they need to do, if they need to throw out more entry forms because they already have that mold, which is fine because we all need them. But I'm just curious to see what SODO does going forward. Maybe they burn through a lot of their budget way early on, making too many new molds. Who knows? What also just isn't great to me is to see Jin, like a pretty prominent character in the show right now, showing up here on Premium Bandai. That doesn't bode well for the rest of the three, I guess, how do I say this without spoiling it? The rest of the three riders that use his driver, right? And that's not even to mention all the other forms that are still missing. This post left a lot to be desired, and they just weren't as transparent as they usually were. So it's very off-brand for them. I have no idea. Either way, I really hope this is just a bump in the road and we get back to SODO business as usual, but I really don't want to see this becoming a trend. I've heard people cite greed as well as, like, hey, Bandai really wants your money, so they're gonna put all the good stuff that you want on Premium. That is, look, they're a corporation, they're a company. Their whole thing is making money. I get that. I get the idea that would be, an attractive scapegoat for these issues. Like I said, companies are built to make money, and if they can squeeze $1 out of a person, they'll end up doing that. But as I've said on Twitter and across quite a few spaces, one of the core tenets of SODO is that these figures are affordable for kids' pocket change. And this is not that. I feel like if this was the strategy going forward, it basically defeats the purpose of the line itself, right? So I think this is not the norm. I think we're going to get back to normal eventually, just not soon. And it sucks that they're not communicative, or they're not communicating as well to us as they did before, but genuinely, these past 6 or 7 years? I don't remember. Maybe less, maybe more. These past few years with SODO, they've built up so much trust in the community, in us, in me, and if they have to spend a little bit of that to make some changes on the back end that they'll tell us about later, I'm willing to wait. Like my initial knee-jerk reaction was pretty dire, and I was pretty upset, but they've built up enough trust. I trust these guys enough to make really good moves. I assume, like, you know, I'm giving this a generous read. I assume that this is the best possible outcome that they could have had for these figures. Like I said, all speculation. It's all been speculation from here on in. But for now, I'm hoping that this is, you know, just a stopgap. And we're going to get to SODO as usual. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'd really, really like to know what you guys are thinking in the comment section down below. It is a very, very weird time for Candy Toy. And honestly, we didn't get many photos, but I still talked about it for this long, just because I'm so intrigued by what just occurred. Kind of depressed, very saddened that this had to happen. And I don't know, leave your comments in the comment section down below. I want to read them. I want to discuss a lot of this. And also, hey, if this wasn't enough SODO news for you, I've got this video right here of what we talked about last week, because SODO Chronicle and Shodo are still going strong, even though the Shodo double cross figures, these are premium for some reason. Whatever, those could have definitely been retail, but that's over here if you would like to view this episode, so definitely check that out if you'd like. And also, there was some Sentai news. I will be getting to that either within the week or next week. Who knows? I'll do my best to get you that information. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it. See you next time.